Now, being a beginner trader, there's so much to learn. There's so much waffle, there's so much nonsense, but they are actually the big meat that you need to pick up on so you can actually learn as quick as possible and you don't end up as someone who's been trading for 4 or 5 years and being unprofitable. I've been a full-time trader now for about a year and I was able to learn so much in that time that's actually made me somewhat profitable at this moment. So today we're going to talk about the key things that I wish I knew that would have made me more profitable as quickly as possible. Starting with the first, which is risk management. Now, there's several things attached to risk management, so we're going to start off with lot size. So lot size was one thing that I got wrong at first. The first trade I placed, I remember this was the month of October 2022, I placed a trade and I did not know what lot size was initially. I invested $500 straight into the account and I lost $100 immediately. Now, that is poor, absolutely poor risk management, because as you should know, you want to be risking around 1% per trade, maybe 2, but generally 1%. So I should have only risked $5, but I decided to risk literally 100. So it didn't make any sense to me. So lot size is something that you must know from the get, otherwise you are not going to last long in the trading game. Now, how do you find out your lot size? There are lot size calculators out there. There's so many. In fact, just go on your phone right now, go on the Apple Store and just type in lot size calculator, or go on the internet and type in lot size calculator. You want to use this website. It's going to ask you for several information and you just need to input those informations into the table, and when you've done that, it's going to simply give you the lot size that you have to use. Now, the key things you need to know is obviously your account size, that's number one, and you need to know your stop loss. Those are kind of the most important ones. The stop loss is what determines exactly how much you're going to be risking, because the stop loss shows how many pips you're risking, and how many pips is kind of like grams or kilograms. It's sort of like a measurement for trading or for the charts to know exactly how much movement is going to happen and how much you're going to lose or win based on that movement. So generally, the bigger the lot size, the more you're risking, and the smaller the lot size, the smaller your account. Initially, just start off, in fact, when you first start off trading, just use 0.01. 0.01 is the bare minimum that you can risk. So just use 0.01 to kind of get a feel of how the chart moves, how much your money is moving, and just to kind of get a feel of it initially. Always start with 0.01 as your first ever trade. Just do it, trust me, it's going to help you. So now that you know what lot size is, you also need to know what pips is, and pips is simply when you go on the charts and you actually set like a long order or a short, you will see that it's going to tell you your pips. This could be 5 pips, 10, 15, 20, or 100 pips, and this is kind of what people aim to get. The more pips you catch in a day or in a month or in a week is kind of the more you're making. So pips is simply just another measurement to kind of just have an idea of exactly how much movement you're catching on the stock market or on the charts basically. The next thing you need to know is exactly what broker you want to use. Now, the two kinds of brokers, regulated and unregulated brokers. The regulated brokers usually come with low leverage, usually around 1 to 30. So what is leverage? Leverage is simply how much buying power you have. Let's say you have $5. The leverage of 1 to 100 means that $5 is times by 100. So now you're able to trade, $500 worth basically using that $5 that you have. So that's pretty much what leverage is. You're able to use what you have to trade more. It's almost like money that you don't have. It's not a loan, it's not something you have to apply for, it just comes with the broker. In addition to the regulated brokers are just a lot more secure. You'll get your money, you have a peace of mind that everything runs as it should. It's been backed up, it's being watched, and so they can't really break rules. Everything works as it should because it's regulated. Now, the unregulated brokers are not sketchy, not all of them. They're not like absolutely risky. There are some unregulated brokers that works perfectly fine. Advantage, for example, which is one I've used in the past, it's not a promotion or anything, but that's one that I have used. Some people also know of Hanko Trade, that's another one that works. But these kind of brokers usually give you a high leverage, 1 to 200, so you can trade as much as possible. 1 to 200, so you have a high leverage. You almost don't have a cap in terms of how much money you can make, especially with how much capital that you have. And generally, they will also give you your money. It's just unregulated brokers are a lot more free to use. There's less of a hassle, there's less restrictions. You can kind of just trade freely based on what they do. But of course, you don't really know the ins and outs. You don't really know how the spreads are set. You don't really know, some people say the stop losses are manipulated. There's all kind of assumptions around unregulated brokers, but every broker has their own issue. Personally, in fact, every broker can't be trusted, regulated or unregulated. The idea is just find a broker that you're comfortable with, find a broker that makes sense to you. Ideally, I would say regulated if you just want to be super safe from now as well as the long term. Just work with a regulated broker. The regulated brokers are actually linked to TradingView if you do want to find out which ones are regulated. The next big question that everyone usually asks is, what is the best strategy to use? What is the strategy that is going to make me a lot of money? What is the strategy that is very simple, that I can just click a button and just print money? Now, this strategy is there isn't really one. There is no strategy that actually just prints money. In fact, every strategy works. Every single one works. There's people that probably use buy and sell signals and they are highly profitable. So the idea to this is you want to personally just watch a few videos at the start. Go on YouTube, watch a few videos, find out different strategies and see which one you instantly click with. If the strategy clicks with you, then I would say you dive into one properly. For example, I use supply and demand. If you do check my YouTube channel, you will see a few supply and demand videos. I would recommend that you start from there. And then if this makes sense to you, just stick to supply and demand for at least the next month or so. Do not just be jumping around from strategy to strategy, because you will end up messing yourself up. Because what tends to happen is you will learn one thing from one person, the strategy from another, and as you grow or as you continue to learn, you will now start mixing up strategies all over the place. You'll be mixing one thing with one, and the thing about trading is it doesn't really work that way. You can't just mix and mash strategies and string everything together and try to make that one ultimate one, because things apply for some things and some just don't work for another. So stick with one strategy and just learn it for a bit, learn it for a month, commit to it, back test it, trade it, use it, forward test it, everything. If it's still not really working for you, you don't really understand it, you're losing a ton of money, it just doesn't feel right for you, then leave it. I initially started with support and resistance, then I moved on to using other people's strategies, and I even tried making an AI trade for me. I'll leave a link to that video down in the description. Now all of these I have tried and it just didn't work for me. In fact, I lost money, and in fact I highly recommend don't let anyone trade for you, trade for yourself. But you kind of get the idea. I've tried many strategies and then I stuck with supply and demand, and since I found it, I stuck with it and I'm not going anywhere else because it has made sense for me. If I decide to change now, it will cause more damage than good. I've stuck with supply and demand, it works for me, I'm profitable. So that is exactly what you want to do. Once you have found your strategy, now I would say you learn another thing that increased my win percentage significantly, and this is known as gaps. Are basically zones where price moves significantly, and when that happens, there's usually a gap that is formed because price moves so much. Now there's this zone, price needs to almost come back to you. How the charts generally move is that price goes up and it goes down. The charts move up and down. It does this continuously. It's almost like whatever goes up must come down sort of thing. So if the chart is pumping up for a week, eventually it must come back down to fill those gaps. And filling those gaps simply means like retesting these prices. If price was $1 today and it just shot up to 5, eventually the chart will need to come down to go to 4, then 3, then 2, and back to 1 to see if there's buy or sellers at these zones. So that's kind of like a simple way to explain it. Be sure to watch more videos to actually learn a lot more about it, but generally that is the idea. Now the reason why gaps is so significant in most strategies for me is that because of when these high selling and high buying happens, there is usually a high probability that when price goes back there again, there's a high buying or high selling that happens. It means that that price was suitable enough that there was a high buy or sell at that point. So usually when it goes back again, especially when it's a fresh zone, it happened in a short space of time, then usually there'll be another high buying and high selling. So what this means to you is you can clearly see a point where people sold before, so now you're waiting for price to get back to that zone again so people can sell again. Now this is pretty much supply and demand. This is what I use personally, adding a few more confluences and other things to it to make me as much money as possible. So I've backed to this enough times. So if you do actually want to see exactly how I trade supply and demand, I'll leave a video down in the description below. So this is something I would highly recommend that because you can implement this idea in several strategies. Whatsoever strategy you decide to use, it will help you to actually take higher probability trades that are more likely to win. So the next thing I asked myself when I first started was, what indicators should I be using? Because honestly, one of the most popular videos out there that just blows on YouTube is what indicators to use. Indicators that will make you a ton of money, indicators that exist that you do this and this and click this button and you're printing money. Indicators is almost just, it's in your face, especially when you start trading. Now don't fall for this trap. Indicators work, but not the way it is portrayed. So what I mean by this is I personally use only one indicator, and most of the time it's not even on my chart. I kind of hide it so my chart is nice and clean, because the more things you have on your chart, sometimes the more complicated you're making your life. Trading becomes easy when you have less things to worry about. The indicators you should be using are just things that add another confluence to your strategy. Do not use an indicator that just tells you when to buy something and when to just sell something. Generally, these don't work. That is mostly the indicator that most people are upselling. There's actually people out there that are literally putting these buy and sell signals behind paywalls and stuff, so you can actually buy them and you just click on buy when they tell you to buy, sell when they tell you to sell. But the thing about these indicators is it works based on trend. If the chart is going upwards, then of course it's just going to kind of be printing buys when it kind of dips a little bit, because generally it's going upwards. Now when the chart is going sideways, you will see how much losses you're going to be taking, because it's still going to be telling you buy, but when it tells you to buy, you realize that that's when, you know, it goes down, and it's just a whole mix up. Do not use these kind of indicators. So what indicators should you use? Remember, only use indicators that add another confluence to your strategy. For example, I use the EMAs. I use the 200 EMA, and the EMA is simply just telling me exactly what's happening in the bigger picture. It's almost telling me what's happening in the past like 200 candles. That's like the 200 EMA, for example. Is the past 200 candles going upwards or downwards? That's kind of the idea, and it just makes me see it in a simpler form. That is another confluence to my strategy. It's not just telling me when to buy and when to sell. So this depends on the strategy that you do decide to use, but whatsoever you do learn from whoever you learn from, just make sure that if they are using an indicator, it's an indicator that is simple, nothing too overly unnecessary or just telling you to do something every single time, because at that point you're not really trading, you're just listening to some sort of AI that's telling you when to buy and sell. Now there's a video up on your screen, be sure to watch this next one so you can learn a lot more about trading. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.